you'll see after line 20, I say, okay, then 94. 94 is a reference to paragraph 94 of witness A's statement. I am putting to you what witness A said during that call. And in that call, he refers to a group of 5 individuals that you had told him about, which included Mr. Molefe. And then I also said to you that he had told you him about another guy, which is a tall Zulu guy that lives in Sandton, Zay, Z-E, for the transcript, and his surname. Do you recall that, General? And then I asked you and you said, no, I deny all of those. Yes. So now you've seen the transcript of the recording. I am asking you whether you are still sticking to that denial. You want to clarify the denial, and then we can address what you meant in the call.
Yeah, I remember, and I even indicated that because on my statement I said I can't recall, and I gave the reason why I indicated that, and I even asked if I recall, must I mention these names here and whatsoever. But today I did indicate that I agree with the statement to say, yes, I informed you, I shared information with him to say the same person, I got information that he was working with somebody, and they were a group of 5, and they are having even mining rights, yes.
Okay, now if we then go back to the transcript of the call, the recording of the call, you can go to file 4, page 66.
66.
Yeah, 66. And we are at line 21, where it says, yes, him, I am sure they are 5. They are a group of, they were 5. They are having other companies together also, or mining rights together. Now, this group of 5, you say they are having other companies together also, or mining rights together. So it seems to me like you are saying, in addition to the companies or the mining rights that they have, there's another reason why you are referring to them as a group of 5, because you say having other companies together also. So what is the primary reason that you are referring to them as a group of 5? It can't just be because they have companies together.
I'm saying they were a group of 5 partners, according to information, and that is what I said even today, to say information I got that the arrested person, he was belonging to the group of the deceased, and they were about 5, they are having also companies. That is what I indicated.
Oh, they all originate from the deceased Mr. Mswazi, the 5.
That is what I said, yes.
Okay. And
Suspended South African Police Service Organized Crime Unit Head Major General Richard Shipiri says he's willing to reveal the identities of members of the alleged Big 5 cartel, but only behind closed doors, citing concerns for his safety. Testifying before the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry on Friday, Shipiri said he knew 3 individuals linked to the so-called cartel. These include its alleged leader, slain taxi boss Jotham Sibi, widely known as Mswazi, who died in January 2024, and murder and attempted murder accused Katiso Molefe, popularly known as KT. Shipiri told the commission he would disclose the identity of a 3rd member during an in-camera session, but refused to name the individual in public due to security concerns. He added that he did not know the remaining 2 alleged members of the group and only became aware of the 3 through information supplied by a confidential source. His refusal marks the 2nd time a senior police officer has declined to publicly identify a person linked to the Commission's investigations. Last month, KwaZulu-Natal Hawks head Lisija Sinona also refused to reveal the identity of an individual referenced in WhatsApp messages sent to him by Provincial Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, Zinona indicated at the time that the person in question was very dangerous. Evidence leader Lee Sejals Ncube later identified the individual as businessman Stephen Mutsumi. Chairperson Boyiseni Matlanga expressed concern that Shibiri had become the second high-ranking police official to withhold the identity of a key figure from public testimony because of fear. During his evidence, Shibiri said he knew Mutsumi as a complainant in an extortion case involving demands that suspects be given 50% of the chrome extracted from a mine in Brits in Northwest. He said he had engaged with the businessman but ultimately referred the matter to the Northwest Organized Crime Unit. Shibiri also admitted that if it had been his choice, he would have avoided naming any individuals in his statement to the commission. And said, I prayed that I wouldn't have to name anyone, but clearly my prayers were not answered. Perhaps I need to pray more. Sejals Ncube further pressed Shibiri on why he was reluctant to name Julius Malema, arguing that the Economic Freedom Fighters leader is a public figure. Malema had been mentioned in connection with suspended SAPS Deputy National Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya through businessman Z Nxumalo. Responding to the question, Shibiri said politicians command large followings and likened them to priests and said they have followers, adding that he also had grandchildren to think about. Shibiri also raised concerns about his personal security, telling the commission that while some officers who testified had received protection, he had not. He said he had formally questioned the threat and risk assessment from his employer, but had yet to receive any response. He said, with regard to protection, the commission is now assisting me. Shibiri also stunned the commission with a series of contradictory statements about Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya's alleged faction and its possible ties to the notorious Big Five. Shibiri's testimony revealed deep divisions within the police leadership and raised questions about whether internal rivalries are compromising investigations into organized crime. Central to the confrontation was a recorded phone call in which Shibiri suggested that the information about the arrest of Katiso was being sought for the other side rather than for the National Commissioner General Fanny Masemola. When the recording was played before the commission, Shibiri initially confirmed that the other side referred to Sibiya's faction inside the police service. However, his explanation shifted under questioning. Sibiya is accused of having close links to cartel members. Justice Mbuyiseni Matlanga challenged Shibiri on why his interpretation of the phrase later changed. Shibiri attempted to retract his earlier statement, claiming he had meant family and friends connected to the suspect rather than a faction inside SAPS. Matlanga rejected the explanation, pointing out that Shibiri's earlier wording clearly suggested an internal divide within the police leadership. Under sustained questioning, Shibiri conceded that he had not been truthful about that detail, a moment that raised serious concerns about his credibility, and that I was overwhelmed. Pressed further about who he meant by perpetrators, Shibiri said he was referring too broadly to people aligned with Sibiya, but insisted he could not name them because he had no proof. What's your take on this one, people? Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more news.